Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I know I'm like a minute late, sorry. So today we are going to talk about more fabric that I was gifted by my neighbor, Kathleen, whose grandmother was a seamstress. She keeps just giving me these big bags of fabric. And we're also going to talk about some of my Goodwill haul this week, and some other little surprises. So to everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. So let's start off with the Goodwill haul, because I want to show you something which is not fabric related, but I wanted to show it to everybody because I thought a lot of you would appreciate this. I was in Goodwill and I found this. Now, for those of you that know, you know, right? I have in my apartment, by the way, this was $3.99. It's in perfect condition, no chips. For those of you that don't know, this is a light cover. If you have those horrible, like boob, they call them boob lights that like every apartment has now. My apartment has that. In every room, there's these ugly, hi, Olivia, these ugly boob lights. So when I saw this for $3.99, I decided to take this and I'm going to put it actually in this room. Unfortunately, I'm looking at the light that's in this room. This is the sewing room because I thought this was so beautiful. Look at the faceting on this. How pretty is this going to be? That like reflecting light. This might be too big. So I may have kind of wasted $4 on nothing, but yeah, I thought it was beautiful too, Olivia. I thought it was really beautiful. I don't know how well you guys can really see the detail, but I'll put it up. Can you see how there's one pattern here and then you have this beautiful like diamond pattern, and when you get to the center, it's almost like a floral, almost like kind of like a flower. It's so beautiful. And you know, this ugly boob light that's in this room is like, yeah, kind of like a starburst. Yeah. It's like the cheapest, most generic one at Home Depot. I've literally seen them. I think they're $4.79 at Home Depot, and they're in every room of my apartment. They're butt ugly. And when I saw this for $3.99, I was like, you know what? In fact, I think I even got it on a Tuesday. I think I got it with my Tuesday haul, which means that it's not even. It was less than $3.99. I was like, I'm going to give it a try. Unfortunately, yeah, it might be too big, but it's so beautiful. I'll put it aside and I'll do something with it. So, Goodwill on Tuesday, I went, and they of course had their, was it Tuesday? No, it wasn't Tuesday. I'm sorry. I think I went Friday, 4th of July. I can't remember when I even did my own videos anymore. Isn't that? Yeah, I'm getting old. See, there's the gray. I'm getting old. I can't remember what I'm doing anymore. Anyway, there were multiple bags of like crafty stuff. So I bought like all 3 of them, got a discount on them because on 4th of July, Goodwill had sent out like a 20%er text to everybody. And so I used that. So I just wanted to show you some of the highlights because there was some cool stuff in that. There were zippers, of course, right? There's always zippers, some snaps and stuff like that. But this was one of my favorites. This was unopened until I opened it. None of this chalk is used. And it's old. This looks to me like very 90s kind of packaging. But when I got it home and popped it open, because I wanted to see if it was used, it was all unused colored chalk. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I thought it was a great thing to have. Also in there was a bunch of these. I'll take them out of the bag so you can kind of see them. But it's just like a whole handful of these beautiful embroidery floss. Keep in mind, these bags, the cheapest one was $4.99 and the most expensive one was $6.99. Still so worth it. One of these, I have a whole bunch of these. I keep getting these in, especially when I do hauls where I'm like buying a lot of fabric, and then as I'm taking it apart, I'm finding there's like stuff in there with the fabric. These are in a lot of them. This was in there. Don't know what I'm going to do with these. They're cute though. You know, I'll keep them. I'm starting to really get very serious in my thought pattern about opening some type of a craft thrift store. So hole punch. Don't need one, but it's always good to have one. And then this was the reason I bought the one bag. The one bag, I think this was in the $6.99 bag, was because of this. This is a really nice rotary cutter. I already have one. And then in that same bag was this. This alone costs more than $6.99. These are the replacement blades for your rotary cutter. So I really did well with that one. How many are, there's 3 of them in here, plus a new rotary cutter. That means I have 2. And then in there, just for giggles, you know what, giggles, there was all this crazy, I know, it's so 1980s. Now, can you imagine putting this on a tree, a Christmas tree? And how 1980s is this? Right? Ooh, I was like, okay, this is some old stuff. Trying to see if there's any date or anything on here. No, it's from the rag shop. Don't remember the rag shop. If any of you, oh my gosh, wait, I just saw this on the back. I didn't see this. How to make a bow. Ooh, girl, look at that. How to make a ribbon bow. Is there anything? No, there's nothing on this one. So anywho, so that was my Goodwill haul for this week. Now, I did a different kind of a haul also this week because, as I've said before, I may have a addictive condition related to sewing in patterns. So, I had some gift cards from parents, you know, and I could have been responsible with them, but I wasn't. Instead, I bought little stuff online with them. So here's one of the first patterns that I bought. This dress right here, I have seen multiple people make it without this pocket and make it into a Hooverette style dress. As I was talking about that fabric that I got a couple weeks back, that was some type of rayon blend. And I said, I thought about, it was the one that was like chocolate brown and white polka dot. I thought I might try and make a Hooverette. Yeah, I have an addiction to sewing machines and notions and all that too. It's, you know what? It's a thing. I'm so interested in the idea of actually doing a thrift store and hoping that people would donate to me and not to Goodwill, because I mean, I'm keep pulling all this stuff out of Goodwill. That I watched a video today from The Stitchery. If you're not familiar with her, I'm so sorry. I can't remember what her name. She does say it, but I can't remember what her name is. But she does all kinds of crafting, sewing. She does a little bit of quilting. She does embroidery, like all of it, right? She actually went on a little road trip and visited as many of these like stores that are thrift stores. She created a Google map to go along with it, and she created a spreadsheet of where the stores were. And I have connected it it's in our show notes because I think it's a really important thing, and I just love it. Oh, she went to she did go to the one in Cedar Rapids. She went all over the place and she filmed it. It was great. It was really interesting. And I totally agree with her. Like, none of this stuff, this doesn't belong in a landfill. You know what I mean? Like, and here's an even better example. This doesn't belong in a landfill. I don't care if the kid who bought it for 99 cents never used it. It doesn't belong in a landfill. It's brand new. Even if they had taken one of the stickers out of here, I still don't think it belongs in a landfill. I still think there's somebody that can do something with it. Why are we putting all this crap that's completely usable, like fabric, in a landfill? It just boggles my mind. Like, do something else with it. Don't throw it away. Don't go give it to Goodwill, who will eventually throw it away. You know, donate it to one of these places. You know, grandma passes away. You have an entire box of her thread. Take it to one of these places. They'll do something with it. Trust me. Anyway, that's my rant for today. That, and I don't like to make my channel political, but I can tell you right now, I'm very sad for my country right now because I can't believe that they passed that bill. And I am so sad for people in Texas because those little girls going missing because of that flood. It breaks my heart. I can't even talk about it. It breaks my heart. So anyway, let's go back to frivolity and we'll look at some more of my patterns. So I found this and I thought, I don't know who this maker is, but there's actually a sew along tutorial on YouTube that goes with this. And I thought, though, that this dress was a very, very reminiscent of a 40s and 30s style dress. And we certainly know I have some fabric that I could make, you know. And then this one was a full-on 1930s. dress. I mean, I know I've said it a million times before, and you guys all know this, but like, you don't have to buy vintage patterns to make vintage dresses. This is such a vintage style, 1930 style. It's amazing. And then when you look at the back, it's even more so. You know, it's got the waistbanding and everything else. So those were the patterns I bought for myself because I only have like about 3,000 patterns. It's not like I couldn't use more, right? Hi, Gina. How are you? Good to see you too. So my lovely neighbor, Kathleen, I come home the other day and I see a black plastic bag on my porch, which I know means that she stopped by and I wasn't home. So as I've explained before, this is my neighbor. She lives next to me, but upstairs. So I live in like, we're all stacked on top of each other. I know it's like a little a little rat maze, you know, we're all stacked on top of each other. But anyway, she's next door, but upstairs. Okay. So she stopped by. She had stopped by a couple months ago. I did a video about it and she had more fabric. So lots of corduroy. So let's start with the corduroy. Okay. So here we go, guys. Can you see? First of all, raise your hand if you had this color corduroys in junior high, high school, because I did both junior high and high school. I even think that I had a pair of corduroys in this color, like in the late 90s, early 2000s when it came back in style. But it's that like creamy off-white color corduroy. Two really large pieces of this. But these are all offcuts. They're definitely, she made a project and this was what was left over. And then the most 80s of greens I can ever imagine. Like, I don't even know what to call this, but this green, I remember so specifically from the 80s, just being everywhere. Like, I think I even had clothes in this color. More of this. There were another two really good sized pieces of this. And then, I mean, what would be a corduroy haul, corduroy fabric haul without baby blue cords, right? Baby blue corduroy. This is a very small piece, but it's enough to make, it's probably enough to make sleeves. If you were to make a jacket from all of this, you could probably make some. You had the shorts. Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? I remember having corduroy shorts too. And when you think about it, that doesn't make any sense. Corduroy is super warm, right? So why would we be making shorts out of something that is like kind of warm? You know, I mean, it's a heavy fabric and it's kind of warm. So why were we making it into shorts? But we did, because I remember, and I had them too. And I remember OP, the like surf company. I remember a bunch of boys that I knew having like the board shorts. They weren't quite board shorts. They were a little bit longer, that were made out of the cream corduroy with the OP. OP had like a weird, it wasn't quite a rainbow. It was like, looked like a rainbow, but it didn't have all the colors in it. Yeah. All right. I know I'm memory laning on you guys, but I don't have short-term memory anymore. So we're only going to do, yeah, I can't remember anything anymore. Right. Oh, hip huggers. Gina, you're showing your age if you're talking about hip huggers, unless you're talking about the ones that occurred in the early 2000s, late 90s. And then, of course, previously in a previous episode, when we talked about fabric given to me by Colleen, we had found this piece of this beautiful, what's that, lilac-ish, light purple, you know, pastel-y, a lot of pastels, right? There was also, oh, it's got so much lint from the corduroy. I didn't remember this about corduroy, but corduroy, like, can you see how much lint is on there from the corduroy? Yeah, it's hard to see on film, but so there was also this piece of fabric. I had baby blue corduroy jeans too. I think everybody did. We did, right? That was kind of the thing. I remember in like 79 or so, I had baby blue corduroy jeans that I used to wear to junior high. So this fabric was in there. I don't know if you can see the weave on it. It's not linen. It is most likely a polyester cotton blend that's supposed to have that kind of linen. Can you see how it's got like a little bit of weave and texture to it? Yeah, it's a faker, but it's very nice. And it was quite a bit of it. It was about, I think it was almost 3 yards when I measured it. And I thought, you know, I might make something out of that. A lot of this fabric has to go someplace else because I'm not going to use it, but you know. And then there were two huge pieces of this. So this is, it's a poly cotton. It has, The hand feel of it is not quite as heavy as like duck cloth. It's almost more like a bottom weight broadcloth, but I can feel the polyester in it. Like you can kind of feel it. It also dried like super quickly, which cotton doesn't do. And you can see it's just this really beautiful. I would call this like a spring green. It's really beautiful. And I thought I'm going to keep a little bit of it for myself. Now, also in that bag was this huge, what I think is a project. And she did tell me she worked professionally in a place that made uniforms and all kinds of stuff. But this piece to me, and you can see the red tape on it that was cut. This is definitely some type of outdoor fabric. And when I looked at all of these pieces together, there were like 2 of these, and then 2 shorter pieces that were just as wide, and then 2 large, almost square pieces. And I'm like, this is a cushion. She was working somewhere that made cushions, like seat cushions, like a long seat cushion. And I think that these markings were to tell her to like sew this one to the other one that had the same marking, or, you know, like something like that. It was really interesting. And I don't know what to do with them. Like, do I try and sew them together and see if it's a cushion? What am I going to use it for? Right? You know, I don't know. So that was it. I'm sorry that it was so short. I'm doing very short videos lately. I know. I'm not doing it on purpose. I don't have a lot to talk about. I haven't gotten any new patterns other than these that I bought for myself. There's been definitely a drought of patterns lately. The patterns that I got that I showed you guys recently were the last patterns I bought. I'm just going to start working on the backlog. There's always a backlog of patterns in my life. So I think I'm just going to work on that. And yeah, so I will not see you. Oh, how have I been? I've been okay, Olivia. You know, hanging in there. I'm a little sad for our country. I really am. I live in a community where there's a lot of Hispanic people. And I don't like to overgeneralize, but the people that live in my Hispanic community, the majority of them are Mexican or South American. So Honduran, Guatemalan. I work with a woman who is from Peru. I know someone who was born in Uruguay and was adopted by a Puerto Rican family here in New Jersey. I feel okay physically, just tired all the time. I'm tired a lot. You know, the cancer's still there. We're just not doing anything with it. We're watching it, but it's still, you know, my body's fighting it and I'm a little tired sometimes, but other than that, I'm okay. Yeah. But back to my community. The people that I know in my community that are Hispanic are not criminals. Most of them get up every day and go to work, you know, that's where I'm at. Oh, are you going to start? Did you finish the radiation? You're going to start taking the chemo? Yeah. I can't imagine, because I hated the chemo. I took the chemo pills, and then I also had this thing over here. The scar is actually starting to go away. And they were not doing, I never had to do radiation, but my friend had to do radiation, and it was not good. It sounded like the radiation was much worse than the chemo. I don't know if that's your experience. I hope that you're doing okay. I hope that you come out of it okay. So, yeah, I have the same scar too. It did actually start to like get better over time, but it's, it's a big scar. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, they put a tube in me. What are you going to do? So for those of you who don't know, Olivia, who I'm talking to, who's in the comments, is battling cancer right now. I am not so much battling cancer as I have been re-diagnosed with the same cancer I had 10 years ago. And I got to take my glasses off. There's too much glare. I've been re-diagnosed with the same cancer that I had 10 years ago, which is multiple myeloma. And it's at its lowest stages right now. So we are monitoring it before they start giving me chemo. I originally had spoken to my doctor about taking the summer or waiting to do chemo until summer. And she decided that I could take the summer off and we could wait even further, because once I start the chemo, it starts an entire process, which is chemo and then hospitalization and then a stem cell transplant and everything all over again. And it's a lot. It's not just it's a lot physically, it's a lot everything. And my heart goes out to you, Olivia, because I know like people, and having been a person who's had cancer twice now, I guess this is 3 times now. It's not just the physical stuff. It's not just the chemo. It's not just the things that happen to you physically. It alters your entire life. Suddenly, things that you used to do on a Tuesday, right? You have to not do on a Tuesday because that's the day you have to go for chemo. And you have to find people to give you a ride to chemo because they won't let you drive to chemo. For any of you that didn't know that, you're not allowed to drive yourself to chemo. You have to get somebody to go with you and drive you there and at the very least pick you up or even sit with you the whole time. It disrupts everybody's lives. It's not just the physical side of it. And the person getting the person that has the cancer is not the only person going through the cancer. It affects the entire family. It affected my entire family in ways that I didn't even like think about. Like, my nephew still, when my one nephew, my youngest, found out that I had the cancer again, he was really upset. I could see the tears in his eyes. And I had to say to him, I'm going to be okay. I will keep beating this. I just will. I am just entirely too bitchy to do anything that I don't want to do. It's just the way I am. And I'm not ready to die. So screw that. Like, I'm not doing anything I don't want to do. I'm not that gal. I'm not that subservient gal. So yeah. Yeah. And good for you, Olivia. I hope that you're the same. Like, part of it is part of it is the mental of saying, I'm not doing it. I'm not letting this thing beat me. Because I think a lot of people do. They get depressed and they feel that they can't fight it. And, yeah, I'm glad you're in the fight completely. Don't give up. We're all going to say a prayer for you. All right. So on that note, and on a high note, right? On that note, until next time, which I'm not sure when that's going to be, because like I said, Kathleen just dumps a bag on my front door, and then I know she gave me more fabric. I hope you all are doing well, and take care of yourselves. I hope you stay cool if you're in a hot climate, where like I am. And until next time, just stay safe, and may the road rise to meet you. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.